Hey guys, and welcome back to the Lake of the Woods and More Fishing Report. If you've noticed that I haven't been posting as much every week like I was for a while, just got a lot of stuff going on right now and trying to get everything kind of ironed out. And once that kind of happens, we'll get back to normal here. We are getting close to the tail end of the Minnesota fishing season that's going to end on the 28th. So we got a couple more weeks. So we'll keep doing, and obviously the Lake of the Woods stays open later and Devil's Lake does too. So we'll keep doing those until we start getting into bad ice season. And then once summer comes along, we'll be back up and rolling again with the weekly report. So let's start out this week out on Devil's Lake. Talk to Mark Bry from Bry's Guide Service. The snowpack is going down. We've had some really nice warmer days, a little bit windier today, but it's still pretty nice out. So that snow is settling, it's going down. Mark says they're hoping, if we don't get any snow here in the next couple of weeks, it maybe won't be too long and actually be able to get out and wheel vehicles so you can drive out with a truck, which you really haven't been able to do this year on Devil's Lake with all the snow. Mark says right now, they're finding perch in 25 to 50 feet of water. So they are finding good schools of fish, but it's a lot of different bays and different depths. But these perch will be off in the mud, so that's where you need to focus on them, in the bays, off in the mud, 25, 50 feet or so. Mark says fishing area about 15 minutes or so, and if you're not, really getting on fish, then move. You don't have to make big moves, smaller moves, those 50 to 100 yards, and obviously if you have more people with you, the more water you can cover, and it's a lot easier to find active schools of fish. Now, Mark says one big key thing for perch fishing is to have a rod with a very light tip. So a lot of times you won't even feel those bites. You'll just see that rod tip just bounce a little bit. Now, as far as walleyes, he said walleye fishing has kind of been up and down lately. Not really any rhyme or reason what's going on. Early morning, late afternoon. They're finding most walleyes 5 to 20 feet of water or so. And he said, dead stick versus jigging, it's kind of a toss-up with maybe an edge towards jigging. If you're looking to get out fishing on Devil's Lake, you're looking for a guide service, Bry's Guide Service offers snow bears, and they also have lodging. They'll take you perch fishing, walleye fishing. They can hook you up with spearing and also some pike fishing too. If you're out in that area and you need bait and tackle, you want to stop off, have a cold beer at a bar, have a pizza, have something to eat, convenience store items, Ed's Bar and Bait can hook you up with that. So if you're in Devil's Lake, make sure you check out Bry's Guide Service and Ed's Bar and Bait. Now, talking with Mike Peluso out on Devil's Lake, he says that he's mainly been walleye fishing. He said the bite has been pretty good. Let me catch this fish and I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that distraction. Mike said the walleye bite is pretty decent out there. Early morning, late afternoon is probably your peak times. The midday bite has not been horrible. You probably will catch some fish during the afternoon and mid-morning too, but obviously your early morning, late afternoon are your peak times for walleye fishing. Mike says you will run into some perch along the way, but if you're normally targeting that walleye depth 10 to 20 to 25 feet, you will run into some perch, but it's not going to be a lot. They are targeting like old shorelines, and he said they're using rattle baits, jig and wraps, things like that, but he says some days they're even downsizing and using like tungsten jigs and stuff with wax worms, and they're catching some walleyes doing that. Mike is fairly booked up for the rest of the year, but he's got a couple openings here and there, and you can always call and check and see if he's got any cancellations. Now, Mike also does guided fishing on the Missouri River in the spring, so if you're looking to target really big walleyes, possibly state record, and for sure personal best walleyes, get in touch with Mike Peluso, Mike Peluso's Outdoors. Now, heading over to the southeast end of Lake of the Woods over at Baudette, here's Marshall with the Lake Road Lodge Fishing Report.
Hey everybody, Marshall with Lake Road Lodge and your southeast portion of Lake of the Woods fishing report for this week. Last week started out real good, but the weekend the warm weather came and it really slowed down for us. Marking a lot of fish, catching some still, but it slowed up a little bit. Now the last 2 days it has gotten a little better. I'd say electronics are major key right now. A lot of suspended fish. The nicer walleyes are coming suspended. We have colors for the week. It's been the same all winter long. It's that gold, pink, red hooks, stuff like that. Northland rattle spoons. My favorite is that red and pink one that glows. We still have some availability for this coming week and weekend. One sleeper left available. Also, and we usually have some midweek availability. Give us a call, ask about our package specials for midweeks right now that we're running in March. Mention this report and whatnot, and get 15% off your midweek fishing package. Thanks, guys. Tight lines.
And moving up to the north end of Lake of the Woods, out of the northwest angle where I currently am right now, checking in with Youngs Bay Resort. Richard said there has been some really good days of fishing. There's been a few days that have been slower. Nice weather has made travel much easier by snowmobile. Still a little rough, like if you're heading up into Canada, the Canadian snowmobile trail is not groomed and it is fairly rough. It's not horrible, but if you're going across country, it is going to be a little bit rougher. Good mix of walleyes and a lot of crappies being caught right now too. Today I'm just fishing some structure on kind of a funnel point. It's been a little bit slower, marking a lot of fish. A lot of the fish, well, a couple of the fish have been very aggressive. I don't know if they're bigger pike or a really big walleye, but had a couple of really big marks on the live scope. That's where electronics are like very important. You know, you can catch a lot of fish and get a good grasp of everything with 2D sonar, but if you really want to, I'm telling you, if you really want to step up to the next level, this live scope is really something. Expensive, yes. Is it necessary? No, but it's really neat to see the fish behavior, and I just picked up a live scope last week, and it is something else. You can still catch fish with buckshots and jig and wraps, plain hooks, minnow heads. If you're heading up to Canada, remember you got to get bait in Canada. There's a few select places that you can get it at, but you're not able to bring it across the border. Youngs Bay has a few openings here up until we're getting into the end of the year. Still a lot of good fishing to be had. So if you're looking to get up on Lake of the Woods out of the northwest angle, make sure you check out Youngs Bay Resort.